Hi, this is Eric Martin with BoardGameGeek. I'm here with Sarah Miguel from Cryptozoic Entertainment. We're looking at Mad Science Foundation.
Yes.
From Shireen Biswas and Max Seidman.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
And then this is a game we picked up at Gen Con 2015,
I was talking with someone at New York Toy Fair, and they said this was one of the publisher dating experiments where they played it in 7 minutes, and we're just like, we want this. We're done.
It was the one game that we came away with going, we need to have this game. I mean, who doesn't want a game with sharks, lasers, and red button pushing, really? So the point of the game is to become the most infamous mad scientist. And in this game, infamy is the equivalent of victory points. So you're trying to create inventions to gain infamy and then become the most mad scientist of them all. So this game is based around collecting resources, which you see here. We have them in varying scarcities. We have cryptomium, dark matter, lasers, and sharks. So these are 15, 12, 9, and 6. So sharks are the rarest, and therefore typically things that involve sharks, like if we look at this Rearrange the Continents, it requires 2 sharks, but you will gain 11 infamy if you push that red button. So that's a lot of infamy. Most inventions will give you about 1 to 3 infamy per push.
Okay. So how do we acquire these?
So how do you play? It's a kind of a I cut, you choose drafting mechanic. So each round there will be someone who is the crooked director. So this little lovely lady right here. And the crooked director gets to sort all of the piles. So when we start a round, we will put out an invention. And then we will put out as many resources as there are players. So say in a 4-player game, we put out 4 resources. I'll slide it all over.
Okay.
All right. So the crooked director will then make 4 piles. They don't have to be even. They can be whatever. There's a lot of strategy that can go into this. And in the beginning of the game, it's relatively simple. You just have your resources and your invention. But as time goes on, you'll introduce additional resources like the truckload of cash, which is a wild resource, or there are certain inventions that actually require the truckload of cash to push the red button. You have the spy, which when you obtain the spy, you can actually place that on someone else's invention, and it keeps them from either building their invention or activating it that round. And then we also have the sassy AI, because who doesn't love a sassy robot?
We watch enough SpongeBob.
Anytime you pick up the sassy AI, you get 2 infamy. So the strategy with that one might be put it by itself, put it with not so great cards. And then we also have the overworked researcher, which once he comes out, he kind of goes off to the side, and you are then pulling out 2 inventions per round because overworked researchers have too much to do.
In addition, you have quirk cards.
Yes, quirk cards. So each player starts off with their starting headquarters and starting invention, and then they have a little token that they'll move along the infamy track. And then quirks are your secret sort of agenda. So when you're building your inventions, they're face up. You know what's going on. But your quirk is a little bit different. So depending on who you are, we'll have a separate kind of side goal. So for the megalomaniac, she gains 3 infamy for each facility invention she has constructed. So the facility will have a special little facility
symbol that you're looking for on the inventions that you're building.
And that's so like this right here. So there's a facility symbol. There's a mastermind, and he will be looking to build one through the mastermind. The saboteur, who is probably my favorite, who doesn't love a little girl in overalls and a giant laser gun.
Probably her parents.
I don't know. Her dad was actually the artist. It's inspired off the artist's daughter, At the end of the game, she gets to choose an opponent and gains 1 infamy for each non-constructed invention they have. There are additional quirks which
provides some mystery on the scoring and the end game in terms of what you're doing.
Like the procrastinator gets essentially a free extra turn at the end after everything is said and done because she's the procrastinator. And then the game is over once you've gone through all the inventions. And then the nice thing about this deck is you'll notice that there will be 2+, 3+, and 4-player inventions, so it'll scale the deck down accordingly. And there are certain things like the Unstable Clone. If you're familiar with DC Deck Builder, is very similar to like the Suicide Squad, cards that chain off of each other. And so in a 2-player game, that probably wouldn't be a very great card.
Relevant to get, but
a 4-player game, that card works really well. So it scales really nicely. It plays in about 45 to 60 minutes, and it'll have an MSRP of $25.
Thanks for the overview.
Thank you.